Hello, this is my dice random roll program. So first of all, let's look at the code here. Oh, it's so blurry. There we go. So we're importing bar, graph, and layout from Plotly. We're also importing the offline HTML graph. And from die, we are importing die for the die functions. So here we go. We've got die1, die2 for the function of die. And when it's empty brackets like that, that means it's a default, which is a 6-sided die. Then we've got this empty list here called results, and that's where we will be dumping the results from the rolls in. And here we've got a for loop. So we are rolling the die, both dies, 1,000 times, and then we are appending to result, which was up here. So every time we are rolling 1,000 times, we are adding the results of the first die to the second die, and then adding that number into results. And then here we go. We have another list called frequencies. Again, also empty, going to be dumping values into it. We have a max result, which equals die 1 num sides and die 2 num sides. That means for every time we are going to add up the values of those. And so here we've got the for value in range, and we've got 2 arguments here. We've got 2 and then max result plus 1. So the 2 is just basically getting rid of 0 and 1 on the graph, because when you roll 2 dice, you cannot get 0 or 1. So pretty useless stuff, so it cleans up the bar graph nice. And then max result is adding 1 result and moving on to the next. So then we got frequency, which it's counting the value, and then we've got frequencies.append, which means it is taking the frequency values that we are counting and dumping them into the frequencies list. Finally, this is where we have our Plotly comes into play. So we have our x values is going to be a list of the range of 2 plus the max result plus 1. Again, that's what we did for the values of the dice rolls. Then we've got data, which is going to be in a bar graph value, and we've got x and y, which is x is going to be x values, and y is equal to frequencies. So whatever our frequencies is, however many numbers we get, that will change based upon how many we get from the results of the die roll. And then we've got x and y axis configurations. We've got title is going to be results, and then title is frequency of results. And then we've got layout here, which layout, the big title for layout is going to be results of the 2d6 die rolls 1,000 times. And then we've got the configurations of x-axis and y-axis right here. And then we finally have offline plot and the file name, which creates into an HTML file. So we will look over here now. And we've got an HTML file labeled what we wanted it to be labeled as, 2d6 HTML. We've got the overall graph title. We've got frequency of results, which very nicely was based upon how many results we got. And then we've got the results down here, which is 2 through 12. Obviously, you cannot go larger than 12 because on 2 6-sided dies, the max value is 12. And then we can, if we hover over them, we can see how many times we got that based upon rolling the die 1,000 times. So if we had a sum of 4 from the sides, we got it 76 times. Greatest was here at 181 times. And then, of course, max value of 12, so we got 2 6 values for each dice, or die, is 23 times. And it's a nice little bell curve here. And I redid it, and you can see that the results are fairly consistent. The same type, bell curve type here. So real quick, we are going to show how you can get different results with different sides of die. So it's basically the same program. We've got die 1, die 2, except die 2 is now 12, so we're getting away from the normal 6-sided die and moving on to a 12-sided die, and you put that value right in there, and results, and now instead of rolling 1,000 times, we now have 50,000 times. I also have a bar graph for when we rolled 10,000 times. Yada yada, same thing, same thing, same thing. The only thing that changed down here was the title, obviously, because now we're not rolling 2 6-sided die. We're now rolling a 6-sided and a 12-sided die, and we are also doing it 50,000 times and 10,000 times. So first we will show you the 10,000 times. And as you can see, our y-axis adjusted accordingly to how many times we got the same result. And again, it's still a bell curve because there's multiple ways to get more of the middle numbers, say 6 through 15, rather than 2 or 18, because there's only one way to get that value. And you can see 800 times, 887, yada, 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 going down, going down, going down, 153, and showing the 50,000 times. Same thing, just about. I mean, of course, there's random stuff. And we've got values such as 4,298 times. We've got 4,068. We got, oh, that's 4,100 on the dot. And, yeah, there it is. Hope you enjoyed.